Okay, so Eric, tell us a bit about yourself. How long have you been in comedy? What got you into comedy? Don't give me those eyes, please.
I didn't know what I was expecting, and then you just hit me with that. I've been doing comedy 7 years now.
Awesome. What got you into it?
I didn't know what I was going to do in life. I had no options left in school.
You could have been a fry cook.
No, I'm good. No, I had no options left in school, so I decided to do comedy.
Cool. That's so sad. That was your
No, what happened was I was a communications major, and then it sucked. They started bashing the program, and then the school newspaper did an article on why the communications program was such a joke. And I went to meet with the counselor, and I was like, what can I do with my degree? And she's like, oh, you can do everything. You can do marketing, human resource, public relations, advertising. You're flexible. And I was like, well, what if I go up against a marketing major for a marketing job? I'm going to lose. She was like, yeah, but you'll land on your feet. And at that point, I was like, what? Like, there was no confidence. So I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I sort of just, I was part of the student organization. I was helping put together comedy shows. So I was around comedy a lot. And I was like, I think I can do this. And all the comics, some of them were like not supportive, but some of them were very supportive. Some of them were like, don't do it. It's going to suck. And then a lot of them were like, oh yeah, just go to the open mics and have fun.
Wow. So what was the jumping point, the tipping point that made you think like, oh, maybe I can do this?
I was just around it so much. Like I was going to shows every night because all the comics were like, anytime we can go see shows, call us, we'll get you tickets. So I was like every night I was at comedy clubs, comedy shows, and I fell in love with it. I was like, wow, this is awesome. It's like you have like so much power up there. You're making everyone laugh. And then it just came to a point where I wasn't laughing anymore, but I was just watching it happen. And I was like, I think I can do this.
Well, we talked about paying dues. Can you talk about that? Like, was there a period of time when you were living in your car?
No.
People don't live in their cars. Let it go. If I can live in apartments.
Maybe Birch Motel.
No. I lived with my folks till last year.
Congrats.
Thanks. I moved out and then I got married. That's the Latino way. They were not going to let me move out. I brought it up to them a couple times, like, oh, I want to get an apartment this week. Like, no, you don't. And I was like, okay, no, I don't. So I stayed home. But no, yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, there was, you do crappy gigs, but that's all part of the growing process.
What's the best of the worst gigs? You have a good story of
the best of the worst gigs? I did this guy called me to do a fundraiser for a senior citizens home, and I thought it was a fundraiser to help them. I didn't know it was a crowd of them. So when I get there, it's like 300 like old people, and none of them can hear you. Like they don't even know why they're there. Some of them falling asleep at the tables. It was just painful, but it was surreal. While I was up there, I was like, oh my god, this is horrible. Yeah.
That's hilarious. So that didn't discourage you, though, obviously.
No, it was still fun. Like everybody has their stories, and then you have a story to tell when people are telling their stories.
What's been your highlight so far in your career?
My highlight? This year was good. I was on the Tonight Show, so that was fun. Got to perform from a live audience, and then just wait for the text to start rolling. They're like, "We just saw you." And my mom had no idea what the hell it was, though. Like I told her, because I make fun of her accent on stage, but she's really like that. Like I called her, like, Mom, I'm doing Tonight Show with Jay Leno. She goes, oh my God, I tell everybody, Today's Show with John Lennon. And I was like, that's not even a show. I was like, so like I constantly, like when I call her, I'm like, no, repeat it. Tell me what are you gonna say? No, that's not what you're saying. Tonight Show, Jay Leno. Say it again. And like I have to because I've done little things and like she's totally screwed it up and people just have no clue what I'm doing,
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Did your parents ever, because, coming from the Latino, or just any comedian, I assume that family support's a little different from normal, like if you're going to become a doctor, a lawyer, it seems like.
Oh, my mom hated it, because in Guatemala they don't stand-up comedy.
People laugh.
Stand-up comedy is an American thing. Like it was born here and like it's an American art form. So in Guatemala, there was no stand-up comedy. She didn't understand what it was. My dad was, my dad's Puerto Rican, but he was born in Queens, and he grew up watching, Pryor and Carlin, and like he loved stand-up comedy. So when I was like, I'm doing stand-up, he was so excited, but he wouldn't let my mother know because he's scared of her because like my mother runs the home. So he's like, I'm so proud of you. So don't tell your mom I said that though. And I'm like, okay. So he was supporting, but from like the shadows. But my mom hated it. She was like, no. She was like, she actually told me one time, and I told her, I was like, I'm going to do stand-up comedy. She was like, I will shoot you. She goes, you stay in school. Because I stopped going to school. I was like, I'm not, no, this is what I'm going to do. And she was just so upset. She didn't talk to me for like 2 months. And then finally she came out and saw me at a show. And she saw, you know, I was getting laughs and I was funny. She was like, okay, I'll support it. And then, you know, as years go on and you start getting better, then she fell in love with it. And like now she sits in the crowds and like when I'm telling stories about her, she's like hitting people like, oh, that's me.
That's funny. Any words of advice for folks? If people are interested in going to comedy?
No, there's no advice.
Either funny or not.
There's like really no advice you can give people. Like everyone, like it's one of those feels like it's funny because like now that I'm married, her folks are trying to break it down. Like, so what is comedy? Like, what's the path? There is none. Everyone has their own path. You gotta love it. Just do it. That's it. That's all it is. You put in your time.
And you don't major. Come on. Is it Jeff?
Sorry to interrupt. Same as last show.
All right.
Going. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, you're good.
Going
This
5.
is just, it starts at 10:15?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
that's
it's
it.
a lot earlier here. We're out. Finished.
Right
Cool.
on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Jeff runs a tight ship.
Awesome. Any parting things?
Just go to my website, erikrivera.com. ERIK. Don't misspell my name.
How do we get a hold of Alex?
AlexAnsel.com. Y2 Kool-Aid on Xbox Live, PlayStation Network, Twitter, Gmail, Yahoo.
You got all the fans from kids to adults.
No kidding.
Hit me up.
Laurie?
I don't want to be contacted.